Right, listen up, because today I'm going to show you why the usual way that you've thought about copywriting, why it's not true, why copywriting is not about sitting there and typing words on a blank piece of Google Doc, but it's how you communicate with people and how you win people over to your way of thinking. So welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mind of a Young Entrepreneur. Today I want to share a story with you guys. And it might sound strange because I'm writing copy on a daily basis and living off of it. But when I went to middle school, I was terrible at reading and writing. In fact, I was so bad at it that I can remember that in the main class, like all these kids were like being in the main class, and then the teachers picked out the people who had trouble with reading and writing, and I was one of them. So in recess, like we had to take extra classes in order to like learn how to read and write properly. And I just felt this weird way because like I what can I say? Like I felt like it was just for the people that like the other kids quietly avoided. So like I felt like a true outsider. And remember, this was in recess. Like I felt that it's like this big fear of missing out. Like the FOMO was just crushing me, and I slowly became this kid that like, do I really need special treatment? And this just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I really felt down in that period of my childhood life. And then after these classes, like we moved up to 8th and 9th grade, and I remember we had these reading tests to measure how fast we are reading, and I freaking sucked at these reading tests. Like every time I would sit there and stutter in my mind with the words and fumble over them, and I was just like looking at my partners on the side, like classmates, and like they was just pacing through this reading test, and like they were reading so fast, and I could see the numbers, the count, like how many words they were reading per minute, and like I was just stunned and like pretending that I read fast and I didn't. Like you had these questions at the end that you need to answer, and like I just guessed because I didn't want to like feel like an outsider. So I really sucked at reading and writing. But again, in these, like in 8th, 9th, and 10th grade, that was when we started to have these exams and also oral exams. So we would go out to the teacher and speak to them and get our grades. And this where this fun thing happens, because that's where it completely changed for me. Because whenever I had to study for an oral exam, like I would just read a few pages of what I had to study and like get to know the basics of it. But I really, like if we had a month, I'd probably just use a week to study. And I would go up there, and the fun thing, the teachers didn't really like focus on the grammar and all the things, but I would start there and stood there and like take over the room. And instead of trying to be this nerdy guy who's like correct all the time, I would rather think of how can I win these people over to my way of thinking. So like in that moment, I just stood there like a lawyer standing in front of a jury, like proving my case to them, showing all these arguments and telling the stories and like taking them through this whole journey. And that was just like hooked straight at the get-go. And I've had this sense of like they've never really felt this way, that a kid came in there and just took over the room like that. And this is not to like put me on a high horse, but like it was just weird that a kid who struggled with reading, and like in fact like I really struggled with reading and writing, and I never got tested for dyslexia. but I was in those classes. But it was so weird that I could come into this room and just take it over, being like this lawyer or prosecutor, proving a case to the jury, and it was just boom, hooked. And at the end, like even though like I half of the things that I said, I don't really knew what I was talking about, but I'm just delivered with this confidence, and I had this conviction in my voice, and I just delivered all the points, and like just like a prosecutor proving a case. Like you had, if it was a homicide, you had to prove that they were like this was the one who convicted the crime, and then like in order to know that he convicted the crime, he need to have the gun. Why did he have a gun, and so forth. So I was just dragging them through this whole journey with my exams. And the funny thing was, like, it led me to straight A's and B's. Like, people, like the teachers was amazed, and like just this kid who really struggled just came in and just took over the place. So it's weird. And now, years later, when I became an entrepreneur, sitting here writing copy on a daily basis and making money off of it, it's so fun to see how this just correlates. Like, that's the same thing that we do in copywriting. I'm not focusing on the words and the right grammar and like being so nerdy about I need to use these words, I need to do this and that. It's much more like being a prosecutor, proving a case to a jury and taking people on the journey. And these people who has false beliefs that's not serving them, how can I reset that and build those up, now like new beliefs up that's serving them? And like, that's the only thing that I'm thinking of whenever I'm writing copy. I'm not thinking of the words. I'm not thinking of, oh, I need to use this formula. You need to use this special word because this will hook them. The thing that I'm thinking of is, how can I take them through the hand, show them what they need to see in order to change their mind? And that is basically it. So I'm basically like doing an x-ray scan on their mind. Like, what are the false beliefs they're having right now? What is that they are thinking of that's not serving them? What is the problem? How can I take them through this path and show them these things that they need to see in order to change their mind and buy my product that will actually change their life? And that is how you create your message, you write copy that's serving people, and that you are going out there, you're serving people, you're helping people, and you are just making a dent in the world. And again, that is the easiest way. And you don't really have to be a writing nerd or a reading nerd in order to do this. Again, like, I struggled with this. Like, I had to take these classes because I sucked at it. I sucked at reading and writing. And I still do, but I still force myself to read books because I know that's where the knowledge is, but it's freaking hard for me. But I've become better at it. But it's so fun that I picked this route of being a copywriter, but it's nothing about writing. Like, it has nothing with writing to do. Like, I can sit here and use ChatGPT and see, say to it what it needs to write for me, and I can go out and edit it. Like, it has never been easier to write copy, but you need to stop having the misconception of it's about writing, because it's not. It's about the journey that you're taking people on, like how you are proving them wrong, how you're becoming this prosecutor, proving the case to the jury. So whenever you are creating your next video sales letter, or you're creating your next webinar, or you're creating just any kind of long form marketing assets, because that's basically only what works. Think of this. How can you be this prosecutor proving a case to a jury? And what do you need to show them in order for them to have this epiphany? Damn, this guy's right. They've just lowered the barriers, and the stories that they've been telling themselves before has just vanished, and you've built out new ones that's actually serving them. And boom, you're in, and you've changed a human life right there. So on that note, if you want me to help you write your next video sales letter. I am running a test drive offer where I'll be writing your like next video sales letter, a high converting video sales letter. And on top of that, I'll be giving you 5 unique bonuses. The first one is that I will do a message diagnosis on your current message, like where are your current message falling into pitfalls, and so you don't go back to the same things over and over again, so you don't self-sabotage. And the next thing is that we're going to do a customer deep dive. We're going to make this x-ray scan of their brain, the like desires, the problems, and their emotional triggers. Basically what I told about before. And then we're going to do a visual strategy blueprint. So I will give you or show you what you need to show to your prospect visually in order for like that to click. Because one thing is that you have the copy, but in order to amplify it, you need to use visuals. And I've created another video about this. You can go watch. And the next thing is that I'll give you filming and delivery guidance. I will show you how to show up on camera confident and present your message that will change people, because this is another amplifier. And then we'll do 21 days of testing and optimization. So this doesn't just work, but it becomes a well-oiled sales machine, a true killer, like your best performing sales rep working 24/7 that doesn't get tired, doesn't take vacations or anything like that. So if you want that, then go to the link down below, click on my Instagram profile and DM me the word video sales letter, and then we will see if we are the perfect fit, and we'll jump on a call and we'll get to know each other. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can use it and think of this way, that being the prosecutor proving a case to the jury. And on that note, take care, peace, bye.